It's quite incredible. I just said it to the Prime Cabinet Secretary. Again, from outside, it's quite incredible what's happening here in Kenya. You may not even appreciate it when you live here, or when you listen to this from home, you may not even recognize this, but Kenya is a global leader in the green industrialization. And that's a very smart move. Why? Because the jobs of the future are very different of the jobs of the last century in the fossil fuel industry. So Kenya is positioning itself as the green job catalyst, not just for Kenya, not just for Africa, but for the world. So we as University of Nairobi, we're going to launch the first Kenya Green Job Center. But what will it do on a Monday morning? It's one thing to establish a center, but what will it do on the Monday morning? What we want to do, and our takeaway from this conversation this evening, and that's what I want to hear from you gentlemen. What do you need as business leaders in terms of skill set in the green industrialization? Whether it's in infrastructure, in agriculture, your field, in forestry, in energy, what are the skill gaps you experience today which you cannot recruit tomorrow? We want to develop a curriculum on green jobs together with you, but at the same time, also here, there's no free ride. We want to do it together with business, but we want to have a common understanding and an agreement that when we develop and launch the Green Job Center, when this curriculum is there and students are doing this, you absorb them in well-paid, well-trained jobs in your sector. Number 2, green jobs. Number 3, we just heard about it. Artificial intelligence. Moses, CS, you're media savvy. Prime Cabinet Secretary, you're all over. But if I think about artificial intelligence, I think about numbers. Think about it. 2030, the world economy will add 15 trillion US dollars from the AI sector alone. 15 US dollars. 60% of all the top researchers on AI, where are they? In the United States. Making $250 billion from the private sector in America alone. Here in Kenya, here in Africa, we also have the beginning of an AI transformation. But again here, we want to bring that to the next level. Hence, we will set up a dedicated AI school to do exactly that, because we have, quite frankly, the best mathematicians in the university. We have in this room, in this country, the best entrepreneurial spirit. Combine it with Silicon Savannah and also the AI revolution will not be only Africa-led, Africa-owned, but ladies and gentlemen, Prime Cabinet Secretary, it's time for AI to come home to Africa, to Kenya. The fourth one, which is very close to my heart, leadership. All of you here in this room, you do not need to be convinced about the importance of leaders, of leadership, because that's what you do on a daily basis. And if you believe, and if I believe, and if we believe that the 21st century is for the taking here in Africa, leadership is key. And CS Korea, you already have Kenya School of Government. But what we are going to do at the University of Nairobi to establish a dedicated leadership institute. Why? To prepare the next generation of African leaders, government, civil society, international organization, business community. And as I said, we want to go, Honorable Prime Cabinet Secretary, we want to go to the top. There is no time to be modest, to be complacent, to be shy. We want to go to the top, so we don't compare ourselves with our neighbors alone. We don't compare ourselves with African academic institutions alone. We want to be judged and compared by the top Ivy League institutions. So, to do that, this Leadership Institute will form a partnership with Harvard. Why? My own alma mater, the Harvard Kennedy School, I had very productive conversations with them in the last few weeks. And I said to him, listen, you have an Africa agenda as Harvard. And it may not be very clear cut how you get it landed in Africa. But we're ready to partner through this Leadership Institute with the Kennedy School of Government, that the Harvard community, the faculty comes to Nairobi, the curriculum comes to Nairobi, because it's an interesting fact. Dozens and dozens of rich young Africans go to Cambridge, Boston, Massachusetts, to Harvard, to MIT, to Columbia, to Stanford, and that's great. But if you live in Mukuru, or in Makwene, or in Kisumu, or in Mombasa, you also have ambitions for leadership, and you may not be able to pay to go to Boston, or to New York, or to Stanford, or to London, or to Paris. But you may be able to go to the University of Nairobi, to the Leadership Institute, and that's exactly what we're going to prepare. The fifth one, health. Kenya has made tremendous progress in the last years on all health indicators, right? Tremendous progress. And it's a clear testimony, not just to this administration, but to the previous administration and to the previous administration. But it's also a testimony to the brilliant faculty of health sciences, which we have within the University of Nairobi. And we have the dean and some faculty members here with us. But think about it. Think about it. What if we double our lab capacities? What if we scale our research? What if we invest in clinical trials? What if we partner with leading institutions? That, ladies and gentlemen, these 5 interconnected initiatives is the Big 5. We, students, faculty, partners, government, there is only one way, is to deliver. It's one thing to be standing here on stage, come with a great speech or a so-so speech, Jeff will tell me afterwards. But if we don't deliver, it's a 1 or a 0. We deliver or it is failure. So back to the white elephant in the room, that is how I want to be judged. Delivery or no delivery on the Big 5. At scale, at speed. Now to you, ladies and gentlemen. There is no way for the Big 5 to take off without you. Because as the CS of Finance and Treasury will testify, we're living in a fiscally constrained world. The expectations that money falls from the sky from government to invest even more in public universities, that's not a reality in which we're living in the 21st century. So the resources, the partnership have to come from somewhere else if we want to lift. And that's where you come in. I count on all of you here, each one of you, to form a champions group around the Big 5. And as I said to you, Jeff, on Sunday night, Ban Ki-moon, the 8th Secretary of the United Nations, he's coming to Nairobi on September 20th as a champion of the Big 5. Kristalina Georgieva, head of the IMF, President Adesina, President of the African Development Bank, they're coming here on December 13 as champions behind the Big 5. But we need you to lift this agenda. So let me close with a few words specifically to the Honorable Prime Cabinet Secretary, our guest of honor, providing soon his keynote remarks. Sir, in your words, it's Africa's century. It's Kenya's moment. And when we deliver the Big Five, let us put our largest shareholder, our youth, front and center. Because, as you said so many times, sir, your future belongs to them today. And only, sir, by equipping them is this university, this bright university, this country, this continent unstoppable. Asante sana. Thank you very much.